Government of South Africa for the opportunity of participating in this conference. Honorable Ministers, the Chair of the African Union Commission, the Director General of the WHO, all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. The European and Developing Countries Clinical Trials Partnership is a public-public partnership that involves institutions that are mandated by the national governments in Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa, and also supported by the European Union, and currently has 14 European countries and 16 African countries, of which South Africa is a full member and a very active member, both at the overall decision-making body and in our board. And the South African government is represented by the Department of Science and Innovation and the South African Medical Research Council. EDCTP as an organization was set up to support high-quality collaborative research that accelerates the development of both new and improved medical interventions for poverty-related as well as emerging and re-emerging infections that are of relevance to Africa. Now, briefly, I would like to share our three-pronged approach in response to the COVID pandemic. We decided not to have a knee-jerk reaction, but to approach it from three levels. First, by the time the pandemic extended to Sub-Saharan Africa, we had made an investment of more than 650 million euros in research and development in different areas of research and development. And we have a number of these activities are in South Africa. As I speak, in Africa, we have 102 phased clinical trials and 58 unphased clinical trials involving diagnostics that are carrying on. So our first approach was to protect the existing investments in research and development. And in this, it was to pay attention to have carefully planned extensions of these activities where possible to put a pause, but to ensure that the patients that are involved and individuals that are involved and communities involved are protected. Promoting elements of telemedicine and also scaling up digital technologies that will be helpful during the COVID outbreak and in the post-COVID era. Our second response was optimization and diversification of the existing research and development infrastructure and disease expertise to support COVID-related activities. And in this, I need to say that we feel it is very important that research and development and public health priorities need to be approached and handled in the context of emerging and re-emerging infections during this outbreak, and not only to focus on COVID-19. So in this case, we advocated for justified refocusing of ongoing research, having different emphasis at different time points, depending on the situation, while protecting the existing investment. Again, under that, we have learning from the experience of Ebola, Lassa fever, and other outbreaks in different African countries. During the peaceful times, we have supported the development of two large consortia. One is the Pan-African Network for Rapid Research, Response, and Preparedness for Infections. And the second one is the African Coalition for Epidemic Research Response and Training. These consortia have been repurposed now to start working on COVID-related activities, and they're already working with the Africa CDC and WHO partners. Additionally, we have the regional networks of excellence that are supporting development of clinical trial capacity. And these are covering different regions of Africa, including the Southern African region. region. In the capacity for surveillance as a basis to run surveillance response that is tailored to the nature and site of outbreaks, of transmission, and depending on the different countries. So we are putting more investment in these resources so that the surveillance capacity is beefed up. Again, under this area, we have a number of research platforms, especially in the area of HIV and TB, that have developed good research and development infrastructure. And where it is possible, these are being repurposed during this time to do some COVID-related outbreak. And this takes me to the third prong of our approach, and that is now the COVID-specific activities. During this time, we decided to launch an emergency response call with support from the European Union, France, the United Kingdom, Sweden, and South Africa. And out of this, we've been able to support 20 consortia that are working in the following areas. We decided to address 4 thematic areas. One is better understanding of the natural history of infection to improve surveillance capabilities and the role of asymptomatic infection in transmission, promoting the development, adaptation, evaluation, and implementation of point-of-care diagnostics. And these are in different areas, and also taking into cognizance the different settings, and also now supporting standardized implementation of randomized clinical trials on diagnostics and therapeutics, and also validation and adaptation of the existing serological tests and establishment of biobanks and serum panels of well-characterized COVID-19 sera. I have to say that of the 20 consortia that we are supporting, 12 of these are led by African researchers and institutions. And 5 of these actually led by South African researchers and institutions. And I have to recognize the role of the South African Medical Research Council, which also hosts our Africa office, the Center for AIDS Program of Research in South Africa, CAPRISA, Wits Reproductive Health and HIV Institute, the University of Cape Town and the Desmond Tutu Foundation, the University of Stellenbosch, among others, that are actively involved in these activities. And I have to say that we expect these to share data that will be available for wider use. Now, we're also looking at the future. And in the future, we are in the preparatory phase for the future program of EDCTP. And this program is looking forward to support fine-grained evaluation of safety and efficacy of new technologies to address genetic factors, local environment exposures, nutritional status, and other contextual factors that are important in epidemics, as well as continued strengthening of surveillance capabilities and systems to detect such outbreaks at an early stage. And I have to say that in this, we are also very mindful of the role of humanities and social sciences and the role of communities. And in this, good participatory practices are really being promoted. Without taking much time, I want to end here by saying that we are fully committed to the continued support of research and development in Africa. Thank you very much.